Okay, so we're going to talk about the ACE, the Adverse Childhood Experience Questionnaire. What is it? It's a questionnaire that represents the different types of childhood trauma, including abuse, neglect, and other hallmark experiences, trauma, like trauma-related experiences that we experience in early childhood. This is before your 18th birthday. And according to the study, the the more trauma you had in your childhood, the higher your score will be. And the higher your score is, it puts you at risk for more health problems, more social problems, and it kind of gives you just an idea of what's going on. If you had someone who stepped in and taught you about kindness, someone who helped you work through neglect, if you went through therapy, if you had positive experience that kind of, stopped and like intervened the negative experiences, it starts to make your score fluctuate a bit. So some of this is just something for you to understand. If you're a parent, it's something for you to think about and look at your child and see what's happening. Some of these things feel so normal to a lot of us because it was just a part of the neighborhoods that we grew up in or a part of our childhood, and we think that it did not affect us. And look around at your life. It can affect you in a negative way or a positive way. I'm going to put the questions right here. And you just go through and figure out yes or no. When we get down, it's 10 questions. When we get down to number 10, you tally them up. The higher the number, the more likely you were to have and or experience more trauma and complications in your adulthood, because and especially if your trauma wasn't dealt with, there may be a time in our life where certain things weren't normal and we didn't deal with it. So let's get to the questions, right? Because you're talking too much. What are the damn questions, Lisa? Okay, let's do it. Question number 1. Did a parent or other adult in the household often or very often swear at you, insult you, put you down, or humiliate you, or act in a way that made you feel afraid that you might be physically hurt? You would put yes or no, or you could put a check mark. Question number 2. Did a parent or other adult in the household often or very often push, grab, slap, or throw something at you, or ever hit you so hard that you had marks or injuries? Question number 3. Did an adult or person at least 5 years older than you touch or fondle you, or have you touch their body in a sexual way, or attempt or actually have oral, anal, or vaginal intercourse with you? We would call it molestation. Question number 4. Did you often or very often feel that no one in your family loved you or thought you were important or special, or your family didn't look out for each other, feel close to each other, or support each other? You would yes, no, check mark. Question number 5. Did you often or very often feel that you didn't have enough to eat, had to wear dirty clothes, and had no one to protect you, or your parents were too drunk or high to take care of you or take you to the doctors if you needed it? Yes, no, check mark. Question number 6. Were your parents ever separated or divorced? Question number 7. Was your mother or stepmother often or very often pushed, grabbed, slapped, or had something thrown at her, or sometimes, often, or very often kicked, bit, hit with a fist, or hit with something hard, or ever repeatedly hit over at least a few minutes, or beaten with a gun or knife? Yes, no, check mark. Question number 8. Did you live with anyone who was a problem drinker or alcoholic or who used street drugs? Question number 9. Was a household member depressed or mentally ill, or did a household member attempt suicide? Question number 10. Did a household member go to prison? Remember, yes, no, check mark. Okay. How does this affect me? What can I do to combat some of these feelings that I'm having? Is there any way for me to understand what I need to do now that I understand what my A.C.E score is? And is there hope, right? Because I think when I first had this assessment done, my question was, what now? What now do I do with all of this information? Because quite frankly, most of it is depressing. It's disheartening. It makes you feel isolated. And it can make you feel embarrassed or ashamed. Sometimes it can help you connect with other people, because there would not be a questionnaire if there was no need for one, right? So a lot of people are doing this questionnaire. A lot of people have gone through this, these sets of questions. What do I do with this information? How do I not let it live inside of my heart, in my head, in my mind? Like, how do I take this information and build a foundation that makes me feel strong and positive, and understand how the positive experiences that I've received, that I've gone through, have, like, it fights this score that I'm looking at right now, right? I'm gonna try to figure out, what do you do after you figure out what your A.C.E score is? So let's work on it. Okay, guys, bye.